Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today I'm going to be talking to my family about the true meaning of Surah Al-Asr. So before we begin, let's start off with the name of Allah. Bismillah. Who knows what Bismillah means? What does it mean?
There is no God but Allah.
Nope, that's La ilaha illallah. What does ism mean? Alif, Sin, Mim. What does that mean? It means
In the name of Allah.
In the name of Allah, right? And so, when we look at this word, the meaning that we get is in the name of Allah, right? But did you know it has hundreds of millions of meanings? Did you know that? Because in English, every word has its own meaning. But in Arabic, every single letter has its own meaning. But did you know that the letter doesn't have its own meaning unless it connects with something? So that's like the ba. Right here, the ba. It doesn't have a meaning unless it connects with something. Okay? So the ba doesn't have a meaning unless it connects with Allah's name. And we're just like the ba. Because we don't have a meaning unless we connect with who, Ifa?
Allah.
Exactly. And you know how I mentioned every letter has its own meaning in Arabic? Did you know every single harakat has its own meaning? Who knows what harakat is? It's kasra, dhamma, and
It's those things like for those dots.
Yeah.
Like for example, God. It's a dot for God.
Yeah, so do you know what even every harakat has its own meaning? Did you know that? Okay, so the meaning of kasra is to break. So what are we breaking when we connect with Allah's name? We're breaking our ego. You know what our ego is? It's when we always think about ourselves. It's like me, 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 me. So we have to break that. We have to forget that we have no power. And we have to break that when we connect with Allah, right? So that's just a small meaning for Bismillah. And now let's go into the surah that we're discussing. What are we discussing, guys?
Wal-Asr.
Wal-Asr. Does anyone know what that means? Oh! What does it mean?
By time. Oh, I mean swearing. Swearing
Oh,
to
who's
Allah.
swearing? Who's swearing?
Us.
No.
Allah.
Allah's swearing. What's Allah swearing by?
By the time. By the time that squeezes us.
That squeezes us, and that's the key word, right? So let's see. Wal-Asr. Wal-Asr. That means by the time that squeezes us, right? Okay. So when we swear by something, who do we swear by?
Allah.
Yeah, and what do we say?
Wallahi.
Wallah, right? And sometimes we say it for dumb meanings, right? And then it loses its value. We swear by the highest power, and the highest power is
Allah.
And so who is Allah? What is Allah swearing by over here? You said it.
By the time.
The time that's squeezing us. So why is that Allah swears by time? Why?
Because time squeezes us.
Yeah, but why? Why? To show its importance, right? Because these things are so important. The way we revolve our lives around these things determine whether or not we're going to go to heaven or
Not.
Okay. So what Asr means by the time that squeezes us. Let's go to the next ayah. Who knows the next ayah? وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Right? And what does that mean? All mankind is in a state of loss. Meaning that we're not the only ones in loss. Everything around us is lost. The space around us is in loss, right? So when these ayahs came down, first this one came down, then the next one came down, and so when the people heard that, they said all mankind is in loss. They got really scared, right? Can you imagine all of a sudden Allah told you all mankind is in loss? What would you feel? Scared, right? Like scared. So they felt really scared, and so Allah created a sense of urgency. And then the next ayah, and then wait, let's go back to that. All mankind is in loss. So the word insana. Do you know insana is a plural word?
Plural. It's a plural.
Don't say insana plural. Say now give the prescription. Now give the prescription.
No, you have to mention that. Okay. So insana is a
You're talking too much. You're just roll it. Keep it rolling. They're kids. You can't explain all that. Give them the prescription. We're losing, guys. We're losing time. We're dying. Now here's the solution to that problem. No, just talk louder. God.
So Allah's saying all mankind is in a state of loss, and He's saying that we're losing, right? We're losing, and then that made us okay, oh my gosh, what can we do now? Then Allah said, except those. Then there was a sense of relief. We said, okay, but who? Then Allah gave a prescription. Okay, so then Allah gives us the prescription. Amanu wa amilu salihat wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Okay, so over here there's an inseparable pair. Amanu wa amilu salihat. These two mean to believe and to serve. So if you believe, you know that there's Allah. You know that there's Allah. But when you serve, what is that? Doing actions, doing good deeds, right?
So you're just saying, just do that.
No, not to just do the actions to get the good deeds. You have to believe and then do the actions.
Oh.
Yeah. And then what comes next is وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ, which means to come together in truth.
To come together.
Yeah, and that part you have to do it in group. And then the next part is وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, and that means to come together in, what does sabr mean? It comes from my name.
Patience.
Yeah, it means patience, right? So to come together in patience. So the last two you have to do in a group, and the first two you can do alone. Okay? And then now we're gonna end off with some wordplay, okay? So what was the first word you remember? Wal-'asr. What does that mean? Who can remember?
Swearing to Allah.
By the time
And that squeezes us.
Okay, asr. Ain, sad, ra. Asr. What three letters are used over here?
Ain, sad, ra.
And now, what's another word that sounds familiar to you? Another word?
I say
Asi. Okay? Who knows what that means? Juice. So how does juice relate to time?
But because time squeezes us, and when you have a juice, when you have a orange, you squeeze it to get the juice.
Okay. And now let's connect both of those back to the third one. This is my favorite one. It's the word for irsad. Irsad. Who knows what that means? Tornado. And how does a tornado move? Show us how a tornado moves. Okay? Kifat, how's she moving? She's
Moving in a circle.
She's rotating. And how does a tornado move? Exactly, right? So, a tornado rotates in circles. And how do we keep track of time? How do we keep track of time? In what circles? We study the orbits of the Earth. What else? The sun. Exactly.
The whole solar system.
Exactly. So that's how you keep track of time, and that's how a tornado moves, right? So do you see the relationship between time and a tornado? Now let's relate a tornado back to juice. How does a tornado move? You guys remember how Nisha showed us? You don't have to show it again. You know how Nisha showed us?
Yeah, she's spinning in a circle.
Exactly. So it spins, right? And what's being stretched in a tornado?
Clouds and wind.
Clouds and wind, they're being squeezed. And how do you make juice? You squeeze fruit, right? And so when you finish squeezing the fruit, what do you end up with? Juice. And juice is such a pleasant surprise. It's like a gift, right? So it's like we're living in a tornado. And the tornado, we're the clouds, right? We're the clouds in the tornado, and we're being stretched by time, right? And so we either come out of that tornado as a pleasant surprise like the juice, or we come out in a bad way. Okay? So that's the relationship between the three words that are similar to us. And so does anyone remember the three letters that we used in all of them?
Ain, sad, ra.
Ain, sad, ra. So that's the relationship. Inshallah, later on we can go more in depth to it, and that's about it for today. Before you guys leave, I know you want to leave, but listen to me. When I taught you, I was the giver and you guys were the receivers. But now, you guys are the givers. Now you guys are teachers because you have knowledge in your heads. So now you have to teach that, okay? So just how you breathe in oxygen, what do you have to do after you inhale?
You exhale.
Just so when you learn, you have to?
Exhale.
No, you have to
give it to someone.
give it back. And what's that called? Teaching, right? Exactly, just like a teacher. So no matter how young you are, everyone's a teacher. We all are going to teach, right? You're going to teach this? Okay, give me a hug.
I'm going to go run another